Peter was a fisherman. He knew the sea like he knew his own hands. But this night, after hours of labor, his nets came up empty. As dawn broke over Galilee, he and his companions pulled to shore, exhausted and defeated. Then a teacher named Jesus stepped into Peter's boat. "Go into deeper water," he said. "Let down your nets." Peter hesitated. They had fished all night and caught nothing, but something about this man made him try again. The nets sank into the deep. Suddenly, it pulled tight. Fish, hundreds of them. So many the nets began tearing. "Help!" Peter shouted. "The nets are breaking." A second boat rushed over. Both vessels filled beyond capacity, sitting dangerously low from the impossible weight. Peter fell to his knees, overwhelmed. "Leave me, Lord. I am a sinful man." Jesus placed a hand on his shoulder. "Don't be afraid. From now on, you will catch people." When they reached shore, Peter and his brother Andrew looked at the overflowing catch, then at Jesus. James and John, two other fishermen, joined them. Without hesitation, all four left everything: the nets, the boats, the fish, and they followed Jesus down the dusty road. Behind them, a confused crowd gathered. "They are leaving all this," someone asked. But the four men never looked back. They had glimpsed something more valuable than any catch the sea could offer. Jesus came to a crowded marketplace. Against a stone wall sat a beggar, blind from birth, his eyes milky white and unseeing. "Spare some coins," he called. "I have been blind since birth." A disciple pointed to him. "Teacher, who sinned, him or his parents, that he was born blind?" Jesus knelt before the beggar. Neither, he was born this way so God's work could be revealed. Jesus made mud and gently applied it to the blind man's eyes. "Go wash in the pool of Siloam." The beggar stumbled through the streets, found the pool, and washed. For the first time in his entire life, he could see. "I can see," he shouted, running through the marketplace. "I can see." The man celebrated in the streets, showing everyone his restored eyes. But from the temple steps, religious authorities watched with cold disapproval. "This Jesus works on the Sabbath," one Pharisee muttered. "He is leading people astray." When the healed man tried to tell them what happened, they dismissed him coldly. "The man who healed you is a sinner." But Jesus' compassion could not be stopped by their rules. Everywhere Jesus went, the desperate followed. A paralyzed man stood for the first time, his legs straightening and growing strong. A fevered child cooled at his touch. Withered hands opened, deaf ears heard, mute tongues spoke. From a distance, the Pharisees watched with increasing anger. "His influence grows," they said. "We must stop him." Jesus and his disciples crossed the sea to a desolate place called the Gerasenes. From the caves emerged a wild man possessed by demons, his clothes torn, broken chains hanging from his wrists. The disciples backed away in fear, but Jesus walked forward calmly. The possessed man's voice was strange, inhuman. "What do you want with me, Jesus, Son of God?" Jesus commanded with authority, "Come out of him, unclean spirit." The man convulsed violently. The spirit left him and entered a nearby herd of pigs. The animals stampeded toward a cliff and plunged into the sea. When it was over, the man sat peacefully, clothed and whole, weeping with gratitude. That night, the disciples crossed the sea without Jesus. A violent storm arose. Waves crashed over the boat. They fought desperately to stay afloat. Through the darkness, a figure appeared, walking toward them on the water itself. "It's a ghost," they cried. But a familiar voice called out, "Take courage, it's me, don't be afraid." Peter shouted back, "Lord, if that is you, tell me to come to you." "Come," Jesus said. Peter stepped onto the churning water, his foot held. He was walking on water. But then he looked down at the waves, and doubt crept in. He began to sink. "Lord, save me." Jesus grabbed his hand and pulled him up. They climbed into the boat, and the storm simply ceased. A messenger arrived, breathless. "Lord, your friend Lazarus is very sick." But Jesus stayed where he was. 2 days passed. Finally, he said, "Lazarus is dead. Let us go to him." When they arrived in Bethany, Lazarus had been in the tomb for days. Martha ran to Jesus, tears streaming. "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." "Your brother will rise again," Jesus said. "Yes, at the resurrection on the last day," Martha replied. Jesus looked at her intently. "I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me will live, even though they die. Do you believe this?" The crowd erupted. Some fell to their knees. Others backed away in fear. Mary and Martha ran to their brother, grief transformed to impossible joy. Jesus had conquered death itself. But in the shadows, 2 Pharisees watched with cold fury. This changed everything. "Yes, Lord," she whispered. "I believe you are the Messiah." Jesus walked to the tomb. When he saw the mourners weeping, Jesus wept too. At the tomb entrance, a large stone blocked the way. "Remove the stone," Jesus commanded. "But Lord," Martha objected, "he has been dead for days." The stone was rolled away. Jesus looked toward heaven. "Father, thank you for hearing me. I say this so they will believe you sent me." Then he shouted, "Lazarus, come out." Silence fell over the hillside. Then there was movement in the darkness. A figure emerged, wrapped in burial cloths. Lazarus, walking, breathing, alive.